What's going on, you guys? Grab a snack, come sit down, and let's talk. Okay. It's snack talk, bitch. By the time you're watching this, I've already dyed my hair to its final color that it's going to be. If you haven't seen that video yet, might I suggest go watching it. The link will be in the description. I haven't figured out how to put like the little portals to take you there in the screen. I'll figure out how to do that sometime. But for now, it's in the description. But yes, this is another snack talk. I haven't done one in a pretty long time. Today I'm eating Cuties and Skipjack's spicy honey roasted gourmet Virginia peanuts. Little known fact about me, I can juggle. Hidden talent. Whether it's true or not, doesn't really matter. Today's topic is going to be about childhood computer games, mainly because Clubpenguin is shutting down. What the fuck? I guess I'll just start with Clubpenguin. Clubpenguin has been in my life since it came out pretty much, which was like 2005, I think. Is that when it came out? It's like 2005 or 6. What's crazy about it is in my lifetime, because I'm only 17, I haven't had something where it's like the end of an era, you know, or like something that I remember when it came out is now shutting down. This is like the first time I've had to deal with that, even though it's a computer game. It's sad because that was my game growing up. That was like, oh, do you have a Clubpenguin? Or what's your name on Clubpenguin? I can go find you or something. And basically what I'm gonna do right now is just reminisce a little bit about Clubpenguin. Tell you some stories from my time on there. So I get my penguin name is Arwat. And you might be wondering, why Arwat? That's I-R-W-A-T. And the reason being, my older sister, she named her penguin when she first joined Arwad with a D at the end instead of a T. And it stands for I really want a dog. And so I was like, being the little copying little sister I was like, I'm gonna name my penguin Arwat. For I really want a turtle, because a turtle was my favorite animal as a kid. I always wanted one. I had a million turtle things. Even now I can look around my room, and sitting over there on this chest of drawers, I have a little turtle candle holder and like a little glass turtle and a like big wooden turtle. And on my wall over here, I've always been like a teacher's pet. So in 3rd grade, my teacher actually bought me this big metal turtle thing to hang on my wall because she knew I loved turtles. And I've had it on my wall since 3rd grade. I mean, they're not really my favorite animal anymore, but anyway, I really liked turtles as a kid. So my penguin name was I Really Want a Turtle. I used to go onto the ski hill, like if I needed coins in a hurry, I would go onto the ski hill and play that inner tubing game. I would memorize the 4-person, like, hardest course. I would memorize it, like where the logs were, where the ice patches were, and I would play that for like 10 rounds or something, because it got you the most coins out of all the sledding games. And I'd win like 10 rounds because I memorized the course. And my go-to penguin outfit, for whatever reason, I wanted my penguin to be a boy. So my go-to outfit was like the blonde hair that like went to the side. Not like the bangs, but like the spiked up to the side. And I would wear these green surfer shorts, green flip-flops, sunglasses with a green rim, and like a necklace with a seashell on it or something. And I'd have my surfboard, and I was like a surfer guy penguin. That was my go-to. And then when I needed to dress up, I'd keep the blonde hair, I'd switch into like black sunglasses, and then put on like a tuxedo. And I had this girlfriend on Clubpenguin. Her name was Kira Knightle. It was like KirakniGhtl, I think. Like, it was Kira Knightle, kind of like Keira Knightley, I'm guessing, is what she was going for. I was only like 13 or 14, and we had started dating when I was like, I don't know, 7? And I remember we were talking one time in my igloo, and it turned out that she was actually like a guy in real life, and I was actually a girl in real life. So that was just some crazy thing. And even up until like 4 or 5 years ago, which seems like a long time, but considering that I had started dating her, or him, when I was like 7. It's not that long ago, but even up until then, we were still like sent like a little postcard to each other every now and then. And I still check up on Club Penguin, okay? I'm one of those people that is super nostalgic about things, and I'll go on and play a little like Kart Surfers or something, and I just kind of check up and see what's going on. I remember when Disney bought it out, and I remember when the dojo became not a secret place on the island, and like when it went public and you could actually click on it and it would take you to the dojo instead of that hidden dojo. And then like the card game came out at the dojo and all this stuff happened, and the only thing that has remained private on the island is that iceberg, but I'm sure everyone knows about that at this point. And I remember when the Penguin secret agency, like in the store, you would hover over the dressing room curtain, and like it would open the curtain, and then there would be like a vault that opened, and then there would be like sliding doors that opened, and then there'd be like a door that lifted up, and then you would go into the secret agency and only agents could access it. I remember doing all the missions and stuff, and there's actually a picture, like I think it was the night or 2 nights before we moved from Iowa, and my sister and I and our 2 best friends are sitting, like all sitting and laying on a floor in one of our rooms, and we had already packed up the desk and stuff, so our dusty old Big Mac desktop computer is sitting on the ground with a mouse pad on the carpet and a mouse on the carpet, and the 4 of us are sitting around like playing a mission on Club Penguin or something before we moved to Spokane. I know it's like just a computer game, but it was kind of like a big part of my growing up. And like when we moved here, our neighbors played Club Penguin, and like I remember sitting in my elementary school after school in the library because I was on cabinet, which is like the student council, and I remember waiting before we had to practice a skit or something, and all of us would be sitting around because I don't know, like 6 computers that were in there, we were in a circle, and we'd all be sitting around on Club Penguin, playing Club Penguin and stuff. I was buying puffles once. It was like my first puffle I was buying, and I was a white one, and my sister's like, Nate, like type in break wind just to see if it's taken. So I type it in and press enter to see if it's taken, and it's like, congratulations on adopting your new puffle, break wind. And I was like, are you kidding me? And of course she's just like cracking up about it. So I still have like my little white puffle named Break Wind in my igloo. There was one time my sister comes home from 6th grade. I was in 3rd grade. She comes home, she goes, Joy, listen, like, I'm really sorry. Don't be mad, but my friend bought a golden puffle on Club Penguin. Like this was when the golden puffles first were introduced to Club Penguin, like the day they were introduced to Club Penguin. She comes home and goes, my friend bought one, and like she showed me what they could do. Like we looked at the skills it had, or what happened when you bathed it or fed it or took it for a walk and stuff. And she's like, I'm really sorry I didn't wait until like we could see it together or something, or see what it did together. Like that is how seriously we took this game. But it's been weird to see it change, and now it's gonna be gone. I remember like logging on, going to the iceberg and seeing that there were like the max amount of penguins that can be in a room were on the iceberg, and they're all trying to tip it, and everyone would be saying like, dance or drill, just don't stand still, and like people would be saying all this stuff. And I remember sitting on it for like an hour or 2 just trying to make this iceberg tip, and it never did. And I did this multiple times. Like that's how I spent my time as a kid, is sitting on Club Penguin for like 2 hours trying to get this iceberg to tip. I was on the other day just checking up because it's closing and I wanted to see what's going on. And I went to the iceberg and it's like rocking back and forth and all these penguins are drilling on one side. And I was like, oh my god, it's gonna tip. Like this is it. This is what I've been waiting for 12 years of my life. And then it finally tipped. And I was like in awe. And there was this little note. I don't remember what it said. It said something like, probably not even that sentimental, but it was like, thanks for all the years. If we can tip an iceberg, we can do anything, or something like that. And I was like almost crying. Like a tear almost fell from my eye because I was like, oh my god, like Clubpenguin. We did this together. But yeah, it's crazy to think about how long I've been on Clubpenguin and how much time I've spent on it and how much fun it's been as a kid, especially in like the carnival and stuff, and Rock Hopper. I remember the first time that I was actually online at the same time Rock Hopper was online on his ship, and I was like, oh my god, like this is crazy. Like I've met a celebrity. Alright, that's enough about Clubpenguin. I've literally spent 15 minutes talking about Clubpenguin. My next website that I used to go on all the time is Webkinz. And I remember I didn't even know about Webkinz. I had a Webkinz and I didn't know about Webkinz. My Webkinz had like that tag on it, like tied on by a ribbon on his leg. I had an elephant. And my sister's always like, Joy, just cut off the tag and throw it away. Like, take your fucking tag off your stuffed animal. And I'm like, I'm not gonna take my tag off. I like it. For whatever reason. It was dumb. And then, sure enough, like 2 months later, my friend, I was at her house and she was like, have you heard of Webkinz World? And I was like, no, I have a Webkinz, what? And she's like, yeah, it's like this online virtual world. Your Webkinz can come to life. And I got home and she's like, yeah, the code's on your tag. And I was like, thank God I did not throw away that damn tag. And I didn't let it go for like a week. I was like, see, Bella, like I knew that tag would come in handy. Good thing I didn't cut it off, huh? And she's like, whatever, like she doesn't care at all. But I would play on Webkinz all the time, and I ended up with like maybe 10 Webkinz. Some of them I bought, some of them you could get just virtually. Like there would be an egg floating by on Easter and you'd click on it and you get like a free bunny Webkinz or something. When I first got my Webkinz, the elephant one, and when I first got it online, I gave it a hockey themed room. And sure enough, like 2 or 3 years later, they discontinued the hockey themed room decorations. And so they had introduced a trading room or whatever where you could trade stuff with other Webkinz users. And I remember trading some of my hockey stuff that I had multiples of, like I would have 2 hockey desks or whatever. And so I'd trade them for these really cool exclusive member item stuff because the people were like, oh, this hockey thing is like a rare item, and I had a bunch of it. So I was trading all my hockey stuff for like really cool things, and I still had all the other hockey stuff in my room. But I had like a pretty big Webkinz house. Like there were a bunch of rooms, and I remember making the movies and stuff. I'm gonna have to go on and like see what movies I made because I think they were pretty f***ing dumb. But I got that movie maker thing that you can get in Webkinz. And my favorite games were the one, do you remember the one, if you played Webkinz, where it was in like the tournament arena? It was like the chef one, and it gave you the name of a recipe, and you had to choose like the best 3 ingredients that might go in it. That one was always my favorite. Or the fashion one, which was like the same thing. You chose a hat, a shirt, and pants out of the options you got. Either you would win or your opponent would win for the best outfit or something, and there were a couple rounds. Those were always my favorite. And then there was like Bathbeard's Sink the Ship or something. I don't know. But it was the battleship game. That one was always really fun. My cousins and I would like play Zacky's Quest, which was basically Frogger, but on Webkinz. We would play that so much. And I remember like when the Kinsville Academy came on Webkinz, but I was there for like the OG Webkinz, you know, before all the extra added stuff. You can see in the Mexico vlog, my sister bought me like some Webkinz clothes, and one of them's the Kinsville Academy, and I'm like, get this shit out of my face. That is not true Webkinz. Like, I mean, obviously I still put all my pets through the courses at Kinsville Academy, but... And then they introduced like vacations and the jobs and stuff. So the most embarrassing thing of my life, I was on Webkinz, and it was after I was kind of over it, you know? Like this was just me checking up on it. I must have been, I don't know, maybe 12, but either way, older than I'd like to admit, probably 12, but I went on and I went mining and like to the curio shop, and I was mining and I used my 3 for that day and I didn't get a gem, and I cried. I f***ing cried because I didn't get a gem in the curio shop that day. That's really interesting. I mean, maybe not to anyone else, but for me it's interesting to log back on and kind of see how the websites are evolving or have changed since I was actively on them all the time. Maybe I'm the only one that does that, I don't know, but I also went on Poptropica a lot. I loved Poptropica because It was like a big riddle. You had to figure it out, you had like all the little challenges. I always felt really smart when I completed an island, and I was like, didn't need the walkthrough on YouTube and stuff. But Pop Tropico was a fun one. I loved that one. I think I started playing that in like 4th grade probably, because my username is my 4th grade teacher's name with rocks at the end. So it was like blank blank rocks. So that'll show you how much of like a fucking loser teacher's pet I was. But you know what? It got me a really cool turtle thing that I hang on my wall. So, and you guys have to bear in mind that I'm making it sound like we spent a lot of our childhood online when we really didn't. I hope there's like one person watching this that can relate to what I'm saying, because I feel like this might just be me with everything. But anyway, Club Penguin closing down is just a travesty. That's all I have, so I'll see ya later. Honestly, not worth it for the end. Ow. That f***ing hurt.